I got a patron request from Sonia, who wanted me to review Muppet Treasure Island. This film came about following the positive reception that greeted The Muppet Christmas Carol, and the Muppet team decided to adapt another classic story. They went with Robert Louis Stevenson's Treasure Island, and I think the final result ended up being okay. Oh, don't mistake me, this is a Muppet movie, so you're still getting a good amount of entertainment value. It's just not among my favorite movies featuring Kermit, Miss Piggy, Gonzo, and the rest of the gang. Like any Muppet movie, the biggest thing to admire here is the incredible puppetry. All these performers were already well honed, and Brian Henson had already proven himself a director capable of wrangling all of them in Muppet Christmas Carol. Curiously, Fozzie, Piggy, Sam the Eagle, and Animal were puppeteered by Kevin Clash, with Frank Oz dubbing in their voices afterwards. I only found out this information after reading up on the movie, following my recent viewing, and I have to say, kudos to Kevin Clash, because I definitely cannot tell it was someone other than Oz controlling those Muppets. They are, of course, human actors, with Tim Curry being the easy standout as Long John Silver. Curry is probably one of the few actors who could chew the scenery as much as the Muppets, and he provides a very fun performance. There's also Jim Hawkins, but I think he's kind of a bore. I mentioned this when I talked about Treasure Planet not too long ago, but in any adaptation of this story, I find Hawkins to be the least interesting element and kind of a nothing character. Apparently the writers originally considered having Hawkins be two separate characters, played by Gonzo and Rizzo, and I wonder how that would have changed things. For the songs, they brought in Barry Mann and Cynthia Weil, who had previously worked on the songs for Don Bluth's An American Tail. I think they're okay, but none of them are tunes that will necessarily stick with me. Hans Zimmer's score is great though, giving the appropriate feel of adventure. When it comes to the comedy, we get plenty of the expected meta jokes and physical gags, but I don't feel the humor is quite as sharp and witty as in other Muppet films. I actually think the funniest parts come from the non-sequiturs. I love the running joke of the rat tourists. The filmmakers use them just enough, so when we cut to them, it's frequently hilarious, and they don't outstay their welcome. There's also the Cabin Fever musical number, which comes out of nowhere, and outside of a remark from a minor character, it's never brought up again. I kind of wish the rest of the movie had the same level of energy displayed in that scene. Some of the funniest lines come courtesy of Miss Piggy, who surprisingly arrives rather late into the movie. But she gets some good interactions with Kermit, and we see the way she rules over this tribe of pigs. In a few of the movies and shows, Piggy is accompanied by a pet of some kind. That happens here in the form of an anteater, and he provides a dosage of cuteness. I do think the film was somewhat constrained by the Treasure Island narrative, and so I found the story ended up being the weakest element. The movie just lacks that extra specialness for me to put it up there with the Muppet movie, the 2011 Muppets, and some of the other Muppet films and shows. With that said, Muppet Treasure Island still gets some decent laughs here and there, and it's hard not to smile when watching the Muppets on screen. I often wondered why, after these two efforts, the Jim Henson Company opted for Muppets from Space rather than another adaptation. Around the World in 80 Days would have been a fun one, for example, although they did later make a Muppets Wizard of Oz TV movie. However, it's also a good idea to mix things up, and it's possible the Muppet folks did not want to be stuck just adapting famous tales. Now let me know in the comments what you think of Muppet Treasure Island. Maybe this one is your favorite Muppet movie, and if it is, that's perfectly fine with me. Thank you for your request, Sonia.